Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. So this time we're doing something a little different, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our listeners have been asking us to do a deep dive into a very particular person's ideas.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to be looking into the theories of Dr. Khalid Walid.
Interesting.
He's got some very unique ideas about this figure we find in the Quran called al-Qarnayn.
Right, al-Qarnayn.
And as we'll find out, Dr. Walid's proposition is that this al-Qarnayn is actually a time traveler.
Wow.
So we'll be looking at his lecture that he gave, unpacking his arguments and seeing where it all leads.
Seems fascinating. I mean, the idea of time travel in the Quran, that's not something you hear every day.
No, it's not. And before we get to the time travel stuff,
Yeah.
can we just step back a second and, for our listeners who might not be as familiar with this, who is al-Qarnayn? What do we know about him?
Well, that's the first mystery, right? I mean, even his name is debated.
Okay.
Al-Qarnayn, it translates to two-horned.
Two-horned.
Yeah, and that's led to a lot of different interpretations. Some scholars think he's Alexander the Great.
Oh, interesting.
Others say maybe Gilgamesh,
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that too.
But Dr. Walid, he disagrees with all those ideas.
Okay.
He sees al-Qarnayn as someone much more significant with deep connections to this whole lineage of prophets.
So if not those famous figures like Alexander the Great, then who does he think al-Qarnayn is?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. He believes al-Qarnayn is actually Imran.
Wait, Imran, like the father of the mother of Jesus?
That's right. But he goes even further.
Okay.
He argues that this same Imran is also the father of Moses.
Wow.
And Aaron.
So we're talking about a figure spanning huge amounts of time.
Exactly.
But how does he even connect Imran to al-Qarnayn in the first place?
It's actually a very clever connection. He points to this specific phrase in the Quran that describes both Imran and al-Qarnayn as those who joined two things.
Joined two things.
And he thinks this phrase refers to their link to three sacred sites.
Okay.
So there's the ancient house, the one associated with Adam.
Right.
Then there's Al-Aqsa Mosque linked to Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the Grand Mosque, the one connected to Abraham and Imran himself.
So he's basically drawing a line straight through history.
Yes. Like a thread connecting all these figures and locations across time.
That's a pretty big claim, though, right?
Absolutely. But if Imran really is al-Qarnayn and he's the father of these major figures from very different time periods, well, it kind of implies.
It implies time travel. That's where Dr. Walid's main argument kicks in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's suggesting that Imran was given divine permission to travel through time.
Now, that is mind-blowing.
I know. And he points to verses 65 to 99 of Surah Al-Kahf in the Quran.
Okay.
This whole section describes al-Qarnayn's journeys, his encounters with all these different cultures, and it even hints at him having some kind of advanced technology.
Okay, hold on. Now we're getting into some really interesting stuff. What kind of technology are we talking about here?
Well, the Quran doesn't give us specifics,
right?
But it definitely implies that al-Qarnayn had knowledge and tools way ahead of his time. You know, Dr. Walid even brings up verse 40 from Surah An-Nam, where it says that al-Qarnayn was helping the prophet Solomon.
Ah, Solomon. Famous for his own advanced tech, right?
Exactly. Even using jinn to build incredible things.
Right. And are we talking about technology that could manipulate matter or, transport things instantly?
Maybe even faster than light. It really makes you wonder.
It really does. I mean, we're not just talking about historical figures anymore. We're talking about a being who could potentially transcend time itself.
And that brings us to the heart of Dr. Walid's argument, because if Imran is this time-traveling al-Qarnayn carrying out God's will across millennia, then what does that mean for how we understand prophecy?
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So is he saying Dr. Walid has a different take on who this returning messianic figure is?
He does, and it's definitely a perspective that's going to get people talking. So Dr. Walid, he actually believes that this returning messianic figure isn't some new individual.
Okay.
Or even like Jesus coming back.
Right.
But Imran himself.
Well,
the same being as al-Qarnayn.
Now that is a huge reinterpretation.
Right.
I mean, in Islamic eschatology, the study of end times prophecies,
right,
it's often focused on this returning savior figure.
Mm-hmm.
To say that figure is someone who's maybe already been here multiple times, that's going to raise some eyebrows for sure.
It definitely challenges traditional understandings, but Dr. Walid's point is that if this figure can move through time,
Yeah.
then all their appearances in different periods could easily be mistaken for separate people.
Okay.
He's basically saying this reinterpretation offers a whole new way to look at how these seemingly separate narratives are actually all connected.
So it's like we're looking at this puzzle.
Yeah.
And we thought all the pieces came from different boxes. But now Dr. Wellite's saying, no, they all fit together in this one big picture.
Exactly.
But isn't that a huge leap, though? To go from joining two things to time travel.
Well, that's where the critical thinking comes in. We're not saying he's definitively proven it.
Right.
But his line of reasoning forces us to ask, what if?
Yeah.
What if? He's right. He's taking these ancient texts and pushing us to consider a perspective that really stretches the boundaries of how we understand things.
He doesn't stop there, though, does he? There's that other connection he makes.
Oh, yeah.
To a figure associated with even more stories of otherworldly journeys.
Right. Dr. Waleed connects Imran al-Qarnayn to the prophet Idris.
Idris, okay.
Who's known as Enoch in the Bible.
And Idris Enoch, he's got his own fascinating stories, right? Like ascension to heaven and all these travels through time and space.
Exactly. And that really adds to Dr. Waleed's point.
Okay.
Because if these figures really are one and the same, then we're looking at a pattern, a purpose that goes way beyond just linear time.
This is a lot to take in, I got to say. But I'm struck by something you said earlier.
Yeah.
It's not about blindly accepting Dr. Waleed's theory.
Right.
It's about using it as a starting point to explore these texts and ideas in a whole new way.
Absolutely. Whether you agree with his conclusions or not, his approach forces you to engage more deeply with these ancient narratives. It makes you ask questions you might not have considered before.
So even if time travel sounds like something out of sci-fi, it's the exploration itself that's valuable.
Exactly. Dr. Waleed's theories, they really challenge our assumptions about what's possible, and that's always a good thing. It pushes us to expand our thinking, and to really appreciate just how deep and complex these ancient stories can be.
I'm also kind of curious about something. Dr. Waleed's focusing mainly on the Quran, right?
Yeah.
But there are other religious texts and traditions that talk about these figures too.
Oh, for sure.
Do you think his approach could be applied to those as well?
That's a great question. It makes you wonder if there are similar clues hidden within those other scriptures.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be discovered through this kind of out-of-the-box analysis.
Right.
It highlights the potential for interfaith dialogue, and looking for those common threads that run through all these different belief systems.
This idea of interconnectedness keeps coming up.
It does, doesn't it?
That's like Dr. Waleed's.
That's understandable. I mean, challenging established interpretations, especially in religion, it can definitely meet with resistance. It's important to remember that Dr. Waleed's offering a perspective and interpretation.
Okay.
It's not about trying to convince everyone.
Right.
It's about opening up the conversation and encouraging critical thinking.
It's about asking questions, not just accepting answers.
Exactly. And it's about appreciating the mystery and wonder that these ancient texts still hold for us.
Absolutely.
Even centuries after they were written.
And this brings us to another fascinating part of Dr. Waleed's lecture. He suggests that there might be actual physical evidence out there to support his claims about al-Qarnayn and time travel.
He does. He talks about the possibility of finding hidden inscriptions or unexplained structures.
Oh, wow.
Or even scientific anomalies that could point to this kind of extraordinary activity.
So we're talking about potentially launching a whole new field of archaeology here, like time travel archaeology. It sounds like something out of a movie.
It does, doesn't it? But think about it. What if we've been looking at history with blinders on? Assuming that time's linear and our understanding of the past is complete, what if there are entire chapters of human history that have been hidden from us just waiting to be discovered?
That's a mind-blowing thought. It makes you wonder what secrets might be buried right beneath our feet, just waiting to be unearthed.
And it raises the question, are we even ready to face those discoveries?
That's a good point.
Imagine finding concrete proof of time travel.
Wow.
It would completely change how we understand history science, even our place in the cosmos.
It's almost too big to wrap your head around.
It is.
But like you said earlier, it's the exploration of these ideas that really matters. Even if it turns out Dr. Waleed's theories aren't backed up by physical evidence. The journey of asking these questions is valuable in itself.
Absolutely. It is.
Traveler.
Right. And this source offers a perspective on al-Qarnayn that might just blow your mind.
We're talking about the possibility of al-Qarnayn being the father of major biblical figures like Moses.
And even Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Plus, we're going to dive into the idea of time travel within this framework.
It's a lot to unpack, but trust me, it's going to be a wild ride.
So to kick things off, let's talk about the different interpretations of al-Qarnayn that are already out there.
Right. You've got everything from Alexander the Great to Gilgamesh being thrown around as possibilities.
But what's interesting is that the Quran describes al-Qarnayn as the one who joined two horns.
Yeah, that imagery is super powerful. It hints at some deeper connection, maybe to two significant regions or even concepts.
And our source material takes this imagery and runs with it, presenting a pretty radical idea.
They're claiming that al-Qarnayn is actually Imran.
Imran. Now, I know some of our listeners might not be super familiar with him. Could you give us a little background?
Absolutely. Imran is a fascinating figure, often overlooked when we talk about prophets.
He does have a whole chapter in the Quran named after his family, though, Surah al-Imran.
You're right, he does. But even with the whole chapter, we get surprisingly little information about Imran himself.
That makes the potential link to al-Qarnayn even more intriguing.
It's like both of these figures are shrouded in this air of mystery, set apart from many other figures explicitly named and referenced in the Quran.
Two figures shrouded in mystery, both given special attention in the Quran. I can see why our source might be drawing a parallel. But how do we go from Imran to al-Qarnayn, the world traveler?
Well, our source lays out a sort of treasure map leading us through history. It all starts with Adam and the Kaaba.
Described in the Quran as the ancient house.
Exactly. Then we move to Noah and the ancient house in Jerusalem, the one preserved from the flood.
Right. And finally, we see Abraham's connection to the Kaaba.
It's like we're tracing a lineage through prophets, all tied to these incredibly significant places of worship.
A divine thread woven through time. So where does Imran fit into all of this?
Imran's link is through the establishment of the Masjid al-Haram, the Grand Mosque in Mecca.
Okay, so we're talking about the very heart of Islam.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that this period signifies a shift towards greater accessibility, opening this sacred space to all people.
Like Imran played a key role in shaping the landscape of faith. It's amazing to think about.
It is, isn't it?
So we have Imran, this pivotal figure, potentially linked to al-Qarnayn. This is already blowing my mind, but it gets even crazier. The source suggests that Imran's influence stands from the time of Aaron, Moses' brother, all the way to the Prophet Muhammad.
Now we're venturing into some seriously uncharted territory.
Are we talking time travel here?
Well, the source proposes that before receiving his prophetic mission, Muhammad actually carried the message of Jesus.
Whoa, that's a bold claim.
It is. But remember, the Quran is our ultimate guide when trying to understand these figures and their roles.
It encourages us to think critically, examine different interpretations, and approach these stories with an open mind. So we're not just talking about lineage at this point.
No, we're talking about a figure who might be intertwined with multiple defining moments in history.
But if Imran is al-Qarnayn, the one who journeys to the ends of the earth, does that mean he's a time traveler?
The source points to al-Qarnayn's ability to, vanish and reappear in different eras.
Specifically, in relation to Moses and Jesus. It's like he's popping in and out of time.
And there's actually only one figure in the Quran who's explicitly mentioned to have left Earth and returned.
Idris, the one known for ascending to heaven and possessing this profound wisdom. Wait a minute. Are you going where I think you're going with this?
What if al-Qarnayn is the prophet Idris?
That would be incredible.
His association with knowledge and his extraordinary journey seem to fit with the remarkable abilities attributed to al-Qarnayn, don't they?
They really do. al-Qarnayn, Imran, Idris. We've stumbled upon a hidden connection, a thread linking these figures across time. But the source mentions this understanding is being revealed at this specific time.
Why now? It's a good question.
Maybe there's a reason, a divine purpose behind the timing of this revelation.
Perhaps an invitation to reevaluate our understanding of history, prophecy, and our very place in this grand scheme of things.
This is turning into a deeper dive than I could have imagined. We started with a mysterious figure, and now we've got a saga spanning generations.
And we're just getting started. Buckle up, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve even deeper into the implications of this connection.
Exploring al-Qarnayn's potential role in shaping events across time. Stay tuned.
You know what's really captivating about this whole interpretation? It really challenges our understanding of linear time,
Like how we usually think of history as this straight line.
Exactly. If al-Qarnayn is really Idris, traveling through different time periods, it suggests a much more fluid view of history.
A more interconnected view.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're looking at this grand tapestry woven across time, and al-Qarnayn, or Idris, is the master weaver.
Achieving events according to God's will. It's a powerful image.
It really is. But how does this all connect back to the Quranic verses about al-Qarnayn's journeys?
That's the million-dollar question. Where do we even start?
Well, our source points us to some specific verses. Verses 65 to 99 of Surah Al-Kahf.
Oh, right. That's where the story of al-Qarnayn encountering those people troubled by Gog and Magog unfolds.
You got it. Those forces of chaos and destruction.
Al-Qarnayn helps them build a massive wall to hold back Gog and Magog. So is this another instance of al-Qarnayn as Idris intervening at a crucial point in history?
It seems like it. What's really interesting is that the Quran doesn't specify the exact location of this wall or who these people are that al-Qarnayn helps.
It's led to so many different interpretations over the centuries.
Exactly. But if we follow this line of reasoning, thinking about al-Qarnayn as this figure who transcends time, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
So are we saying that al-Qarnayn as Idris might have influenced even more events than what's specifically mentioned in the Quran?
It's possible. Think about it. If al-Qarnayn is implementing God's will across time, it suggests a much deeper level of divine intervention in human affairs than we typically consider.
This is getting pretty profound. But how does Moses fit into all of this? The source mentioned a connection between al-Qarnayn and the story of Moses.
Right. Well, there's this fascinating detail often overlooked in Surah An-Naml, verse 40.
Remind me what that verse is about.
It describes someone helping Solomon transport the Queen of Sheba's throne.
I remember that story. It happened incredibly fast.
Right. Faster than the blink of an eye. Our source suggests that this incredibly powerful being is, you guessed it, al-Qarnayn, who we believe is also Imran and Idris.
So he's not just traveling through time, but he can also move things at unimaginable speeds.
It's like he can manipulate the very fabric of reality to achieve divine goals, like bending the laws of physics as we know them.
This is like a giant cosmic puzzle with pieces scattered throughout history. Sacred sites, lineage, time travel, and now this incredible power.
It's a lot to take in for sure. Yeah. But remember, the Quran holds the key to understanding these mysteries. It encourages us to read between the lines, connect the dots, and think critically.
Okay, let me see if I can piece this together. We have al-Qarnayn, who is also Imran and Idris. He can travel through time, appearing at different points in history to influence events and carry out God's will.
Go on.
He builds a wall to protect people from Gog and Magog, guides Moses, and even helps Solomon transport objects faster than light.
You're getting it. But remember, this is just one interpretation. The source is urging us to engage with these ideas, to question what we think we know, and really dig deep into the Quran.
This deep dive has definitely opened my eyes to a whole new way of looking at things. We're not just reading stories here. We're uncovering this grand narrative that spans time and space.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. But hold on, there's one more mind-blowing claim in our source that we need to unpack.
What's that?
They're saying al-Qarnayn is the father of key biblical figures.
Now that's a revelation that's sure to challenge some conventional thinking.
For sure. Let's dive into that in the final part of our deep dive.
This claim really throws a wrench in things, doesn't it? We tend to think of these biblical figures in their own historical context.
Right, like separate compartments.
Exactly. But our source is proposing something much more radical.
So how do they connect al-Qarnayn to these figures? Where's the link?
Remember how we talked about Imran's lineage and his connection to those sacred sites?
Yeah, the Kaaba, Jerusalem.
Right. Well, the source suggests that his lineage extends even further than we usually think.
Further back in time.
Reaching back to figures like Moses and Aaron.
Hold on, are we suggesting that al-Qarnayn, who's also Imran and Idris, is the father of Moses and Aaron? That's a pretty big claim.
That's exactly what the source is arguing. They say there are hints of this connection in the Quran.
Like what?
Think about how Mary, the mother of Jesus, is referred to as sister of Aaron in the Quran.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean. It's like drawing a line between these seemingly separate figures.
Exactly. It's subtle, but it's there.
Okay, so we've got the Moses and Aaron connection. But what about Mary herself? How does she fit into this?
This is where it gets really wild. Our source claims that al-Qarnayn, who we believe is Imran and Idris, is not just a distant ancestor of Mary.
He's her father.
They're saying he's her actual father.
Whoa. So al-Qarnayn is directly linked to both Moses and Jesus through his lineage.
That's the idea. And they point out that the Quran doesn't explicitly name Mary's father.
So they're saying this interpretation is possible.
Exactly. It's like the Quran is inviting us to think outside the box, use our intellect and our spiritual understanding to fill in the gaps.
So we're talking about a figure who transcends religious boundaries, connecting Judaism, Christianity, and Islam through his lineage.
It's a powerful concept.
It's like he's this unifying force working behind the scenes across different faiths to fulfill God's plan.
It really challenges us to see the connections between these traditions.
This deep dive has been quite a journey. We started with this mysterious figure from the Quran, and now we're uncovering these potential connections to major figures across time and even across religions.
It's amazing what you can find when you start digging deeper.
It really is. So where do we go from here? What does it all mean?
That's the big question. This exploration has really pushed us to rethink our assumptions about history, prophecy, even time itself.
It's made me look at the Quran in a whole new way.
That's what we're hoping for. We want to encourage everyone to re-examine the Quran, look for those hidden layers of meaning and connections.
It's like we've been given a glimpse of this incredible tapestry and seen how all the threads are woven together.
Woven together by a divine hand. I think the most important takeaway here is that there's always more to learn.
The Quran is an ocean of knowledge. And this deep dive has shown us that even familiar stories can hold incredible secrets just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. This isn't about finding all the answers.
It's about sparking that curiosity.
Inspiring people to explore and to deepen their connection to the divine mysteries that surround us all.
Well said. This has been an amazing journey. I feel like we've only scratched the surface, but it's left me feeling so inspired to keep searching.
That's the beauty of it. The journey never really ends.
So to everyone listening, we leave you with this. What if the story of al-Qarnayn is more than just a historical account? What if it's a parable about our own journey through time? A metaphor for our connection to the divine plan that's unfolding across the ages. Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring the Quran. Until next time, keep diving deep.